I hear you on target 4. It's a massive gamma reading. It's one of our primary targets. We've been down there a couple times now. I don't know why we can't find what's down there, but it's eluded us thus far.
The weather this morning looks good. I say we get out there.
It's good enough to dive for at least a couple hours. Let's hit the area just outside the original radius that we searched. There's got to be something more associated with that pistol out there, so let's just give it one last shot here.
Yep.
We're going to do this.
While searching target 4, Darrell and Steve find something with a metal detector.
This is a really interesting find for the area. We've already found a gun down here, and now a bullet.
We're getting more and more close every single time we go out here. I'm interested to blow with this.
Not knowing the condition of the bullet, Darrell brings it to the surface for Garth to examine it.
When we find these items buried in the seafloor, we're disturbing something that potentially hasn't been moved for 80 years or more. When something is buried under the sand, it's being preserved from the elements.
Yep, you got it? I got it.
So once we remove it, it's important that we get it back to the surface and conserve it. You might be excited about this.
Yeah, I know what that is.
I bet you do.
Oh, I do know what that is. Honestly, I've shot this. These are like ubiquitous U.S. 50 caliber rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from a, Browning machine gun that the Marine Corps uses, the Navy uses, Air Force uses. This is what airplanes shoot. This is what boats shoot. It's the big machine gun. Yeah, yeah, Ma Deuce.
Since the 1930s, the Browning 50 caliber machine gun, known informally as Ma Deuce, has been widely used by the U.S. military as a weapon for vehicles, especially aircraft, firing between 600 to 800 rounds per minute. This weapon served as the main aircraft armament during World War II. The machine gun could be used with a variety of armor-piercing ammunition, making it effective both against infantry as well as lightly armored vehicles, such as boats or other aircraft.
That's American, 100%.
Mm-hmm. This got fired. There's rifling on it.
Right.
Obviously, it's got an impact. It hit something hard. If it had hit dirt, you'd have dirt stuck in there. So it must have hit something sharp, right? Embedded into something, gone through something.
Would that intrinsic of if metal would do a dent like that, or like if it was partially submerged, so it hit the water, kind of broke the speed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
Angle.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming out in an aircraft, and your boat's flat, so if they're shooting this way, it's going to come off an angle. It could have ricocheted into something.
Yeah.
Because Allied aircraft were equipped with 50mm guns and hunted U-boats in the Caribbean, the discovery of this bullet is an intriguing new lead. Could this round have been fired from an Allied aircraft?
As long as the weather works with us, we can do this all day long. Meanwhile, you do...
I can bag and tag this.
Yeah, that's it. I love it.
Are we going all the way to the reef? Okay, let's do this.
Darrell and Steve set their sights on a reef system on the outskirts of Target 4.
All right, let's go.
Locating a sunken wreck, whether intact or in pieces, can be a challenging process. Over the decades, a submarine lying on the ocean floor can easily become camouflaged by reefs or other natural formations.
I'm just gonna get this, man. We've covered a lot of area with the metal detector, and I don't understand it.
I'm so frustrated at this point. I've come across probably one of the best targets during our mag session, and we go down there, and there's nothing there. Nothing. It doesn't make sense.
I really think that we really need to rethink whatever it is that we're doing with the magnetometer. I agree.
There has to be a reason for this. I'm determined to find out why this is becoming such a problem for us.
Hey, Darrell, Steve, the wind's picking up over here and the waves are getting pretty choppy. I think you might gonna have to wrap this one up pretty soon. Otherwise, it's gonna be really difficult to get you guys on board.
As winds on the surface start picking up, the team's dive window is quickly closing.
Let's let the sand settle.
Darrell and Steve spend their last precious minutes covering as much ground with a metal detector as possible.
All right, let's come from that side over there and then swing this way. Okay, here we go. I got something here, Darrell. Oh, okay, hang on. It's some sort of metal plate. Hang on, let me try and pull it out. I'll be right.
After getting a hit with the detector, Darrell and Steve work to dislodge the metal object that is buried between the sand and reef.
Let me try and pull it out. Oh, wow. Look at that. Now that's something interesting. That's a hatch, isn't it? That's a beautiful piece right there. This thing's heavier.
With dangerous weather on the horizon, Captain Paco Montaner urges Darrell and Steve to return topside.
My hand's here if you need it.
The team calls off yet another dive, no closer to locating the large magnetometer anomaly detected here.
Give Steve a hand, he's got something heavy. Every time we come to Target 4, we keep finding these little clues where our data is saying we should be finding something big. And I mean U-boat big. Something doesn't add up here. Hopefully this new artifact we pulled up will tell us something that can help us find this sub.
Later that day, at the team's base camp in Monte Cristi, Garth meets with renowned wreck diver Bill Palmer.
Garth, how are you?
Hey, Bill. Thanks for coming in again.
In 1972, Palmer famously became one of the first divers to explore U-Boat 853, just off the coast of Rhode Island. Since then, he has spent countless hours diving the wreck and has become a leading expert in U-boat artifacts.
Hey, how can I help?
I have one thing new to show you. I want to get your take on it.
It looks to me as though it's the cover for an ammo canister, and judging by its shape, it appears that it might have held 37mm rounds. 37 was one hell of a weapon. It's a common deck gun on the U-boats. It was anti-aircraft. Your first weapon would be the 37.
By late 1943, powerful 37mm flak guns are widely installed on U-boats in response to growing Allied air power. These anti-aircraft weapons are designed to be more maneuverable than deck cannons with a higher rate of fire. But it's the type of ammunition used that makes them uniquely devastating. Flak rounds are designed to explode at altitude, sending razor-sharp metal fragments, or flak, in all directions, instantly shredding through enemy aircraft. To protect these rounds from getting wet, a dial at the top would seal the box to make it waterproof, a design that was unique to the Kriegsmarine.
Finding out that this is a lid to an ammo can that held 37mm deck gun ammunition is a big deal. According to Darrell's blueprints, the subs we're looking for had these guns. This is the first clue that could put a U-boat at Target 4. We found this one, and in close association, we found an American .50 caliber projectile that looks like it hit some metal hard.
Really?
The tip of it's bent up. It shows massive impact. If you're fighting anti-aircraft at the same time and somebody's shooting from an aircraft at you, what you're gonna find, .50 caliber rounds, right?
Oh yeah, American aircraft typically carried 50s.
So in my mind, you know, I'm thinking I've got, you know, Germans with anti-aircraft rounds, and I've got aircraft rounds at the same location. So it seems to me that there's a possibility that there was an incident at that location.
You know, it's very possible. Sounds like there was a scuffle of sorts.
Could the team have discovered evidence of a battle between a German U-boat and Allied aircraft at Target 4? And if so, could it be connected to the U-boats Darrell believes were transporting treasure through these waters?
Your information and your background has been indispensable.
Thank you. You put a smile on my face. Any place, anytime, man. I'm glad to help.